Dr. Carol Francis. Today we're going to talk about pleasing others, codependence, interdependence. A lot of individuals nowadays are very much of an advocate of making sure that you are empowered as an individual to be you, not letting other people take control of you or tell you who you should be. The value of this sort of information is that it makes it so that you are less inclined to be taken over by individuals that want to manipulate you or abuse you or just have your image in their own shadow or mirroring who they are. It helps you be able to avoid the narcissistic tendency inside of everybody, and in some people it's their whole characteristic is that they want all the whole world to be about who they are. So it helps you not to fall prey to their narcissism or to their urge to be the manipulator of everybody. So for someone else to say, hey, be selfish, take care of yourself, don't give yourself over to another person, don't do things that make you unhappy, there's power in all of those statements. I've been listening to some wonderful videos by Teal Scott and other individuals that say, be very careful, be selfish about your life. But why? Because they're trying to encourage individuals to not live lives for other people, the other people being individuals who are going to manipulate, abuse, or misuse that friendly capacity to be giving and kind. It is a way of saying to you, don't please other people for the sake of fear of being rejected or for the sake of that other individual not harming you. That fear that you have inside of you, gee, I want them to like me or I don't want them to hurt me, that fear is an indicator to you. You want to know when you're afraid of another individual, because when you're afraid of another individual, you're going to act differently around that person. So truth of the matter is, probably best to get away from an individual that frightens you. Secondly, it's really important for you to understand that you actually do have a lot of power in every single situation. You may not choose to exercise power in a situation. You may not choose to be as vile and awful as the other person, but you want to understand that you possibly could be as vile or negative or manipulative or abusive or rejecting or condescending. In fact, in marriage relationships, often there's more of a power struggle between the two forces, where one person tries to dominate the other to get their way, or one person wants it this way. So there's this knuckle beating sort of power play that goes on between the two. That actually, oddly enough, is probably a little healthier than relationships where one's dominant and the other one is subordinate, 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 subordinate. It's healthier to go this way, but it's still not healthy. So the idea that you have someone who wants to dominate you and you want to dominate back at least allows that feeling of being equal, right? It at least allows that feeling of I'm not going to give my self-respect over to another person by giving in all the time. But you become so focused on the power play and on how this other person wants to dominate thing that you don't get to evolve yourself beyond that power play. So now just imagine this. Let's say you're an individual that loves to make people feel good. Now, are you codependent? Are you just a slave? Are you a people pleaser? Are you someone that people can manipulate easily? Or do you know your power of how amazing it is that you can generate this awesomely good feeling around other people so that they walk away and feel good as well? So let's really focus on this term called interdependence. It's been around for about 15 years, and it came out shortly after a lot of the literature about codependence related to AA, the 12-step program, and all the other programs that were helping individuals that were enabling alcoholics or enabling abuse or enabling substance abuse. So these enablers, these codependent individuals, were somehow assisting the other person to be abusive to them, somehow assisting them to be abusive to substances. So we wanted to free those enablers, free those codependent individuals from this role of assisting people to being used by others. But we also didn't want individuals to feel like they couldn't be connected pleasantly, lovingly, with their full identity engaged, with who they are, what they have to offer. And if they want to live with that enthusiasm, that happiness, that collective sense of, yes, I love these people and I love being able to benefit these people with what I have to give. So that being a giving individual from the standpoint of knowing your power to give and your love of giving and that you want to benefit other people is not the same as someone who's a people pleaser, or codependent, or enabling. Why? Because it's not coming out of fear, and it's not coming out of feeling like you're inferior and you need to be manipulated or the puppet of another individual's control. Instead, it's coming from you knowing your power to give to another individual. Now, why is this so important? Because if you become selfish to the point of I'm not going to give to anybody or help anybody, it's very, very different than becoming interdependent. Selfishness might stop you from giving to people who are manipulative or abusive. And on that level, it's more helpful than if you're subservient. But selfishness can breed so much conflict, power struggle, or lonely and isolation in a way that you don't want when you're also wanting to be a giver. So rise above all of that and learn what it means for you to be your most vibrant, lively, enthusiastic you. The you that has so much to give. Not so that others can use you, not so others that can manipulate you or exploit you, but when there are those people who are so excited to receive from you and they give back to you out of gratitude or appreciation or their own growth, then you know that you're in an interdependent relationship where you can still be you, they can be themselves, and you can contribute to their well-being and they can contribute to yours. And now this is about interdependence, separate identity, interdependence, separate identity, mutually beneficial. Big difference from this. Big difference from this. It's like the next level of evolving yourself as a human being who wants to be a giver, wants to be kind, wants to feel that you lift yourself out of the mires of below, and yet you do not want to be a person who's easily manipulated. As Dr. Carol Francis, put your comments down below. I look forward to hearing your response. Take great care of yourself and give to those people who also can give back to you.